Headline: Pentagon ran secret anti-vax campaign to undermine China during the pandemic. When I read that, I'm sitting there like, when it comes to certain stuff, I need to know like what the sources are. Are we looking at primary sources, secondary sources? Is this a conspiracy theory? Is this something that that's under investigation? Right? If it's under investigation, I'm down to be like, well, let's see what's coming out on the other side of this. Right? No, this is not under investigation. This happened, and the United States is like, yeah, we shut it down. The Pentagon's campaign involves creating fake social media accounts. So listen to how this shit went down. This starts under Donald Trump in 2020. In MacDill, down in Tampa, Florida, there is headquartered the special operations, yada, yada, yada. And basically what they do is they do PSYOP campaigns like this. And at the direction of Trump, the Pentagon started making fake Twitter accounts and fake Facebook accounts to undermine Chinese vaccines coming to places like the Philippines. They started making tweets talking about that the vaccine had pig blood. It was literally to make them not trust the vaccines that were getting provided by China. When I sit there and I'm like, well, I don't understand. Like, we wanted our people to take it seriously. I don't understand, why would you do that to the Philippines? Well, because China was super proactive on getting a vaccine done and ready. And like we would do, decided to use the vaccines to help relations with their neighbors, right? So China, who at the time was trying to, get more friendly with Duterte in the Philippines, is like, hey, here's some vaccines. Let's be better friends. Well, the United States is like, well, when I say the United States, Donald Trump's administration sits there and goes, nah, that's not going to work. So what do? Maybe they say, oh, no, use our vaccines. Matter of fact, you don't even have to pay us for them. Here they go for free. Well, shit, we'll use those instead. No. They decide to do a misinformation campaign and flood the Philippine market and some other places, but the Philippines got the brunt of it with fake accounts. How did we find out? That's what's funny. How did we find this out? We found this out when Biden won. One of the directives that Biden's administration put forward was to stop misinformation campaigns. And when they told them, hey, I need you to kind of like shut this shit down. I need you to find fake accounts. I need you to take a more proactive stance on ending misinformation. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, all of them, they're like, yeah, about that. We have definitely been shutting down a lot of accounts, and they're from y'all. They're from y'all. And that's when the Biden administration finds out, oh, why are we doing that? Trump, it was a legacy operation that had been continuing because all of this comes about during, like, Biden finds out within the first couple months of the administration, right? So January 6th, he becomes president, or January 20th, rather. And like sometime in March, April, he finds out about this campaign and immediately ends it. He ends it. There's new rules created. But what's wild about this, the Philippine government, this is why nobody ever gets held accountable for shit. The Philippines is not a world power. So the United States has their hand in their economy. China has their hands in the Philippine economy. And Philippines is like, hey, look, I love you both, Like, I really would love it if we just, like, nobody's mad at me. That would be really cool. So the Philippine government is like, wow, that's crazy. We're gonna have to investigate this. Yeah, that's we'll look into this. Look into what? Because U.S. officials have already reported on it. U.S. officials said, yep, this happened during the Trump campaign. As soon as Biden found out, he ended it. And there's new regulations on what kind of campaigns we can do to prevent that from happening again, yada, yada, yada. So the United States is like, yeah, that happened. Yeah, that sucks. But here's the other part that gets me. The thing that I find crazy is that within the first few months of Biden's administration, he finds out that Donald Trump's administration pushed a anti-vax campaign in another country with fake social media accounts and says nothing about it. I wanted to talk about this. Typically, I do commentary over YouTube videos or TikToks, and I'll comment off of that, right? I couldn't find hardly anything on YouTube about this. Why is this not bigger? When you look up vaccination rates during COVID, the Philippines was one of the least vaccinated places in East Asia. What part did we play in that? Because if we're going to talk about not trusting vaccines to a general population, what do you think? Oh, I don't want their vaccines, but I'll choose theirs. No, they're going to have an overall mistrust of vaccines. Reuters reports the campaign likely contributed to vaccine hesitancy, particularly in the Philippines, which already had low vaccination rates. Following the exposure of the campaign, the Pentagon conducted an internal review and has since implemented stricter policies to ensure greater oversight and coordination with U.S. diplomats in future operations, according to military.com. It was the U.S. officials who objected in the first place to Trump's administration. And Trump's Pentagon says, nah, we're good. Now, I do want to make clear that this is Trump's Pentagon, but those are the same dudes here. You know what I mean? They might have a shorter leash now, but they're the same dudes willing to do that. The same people. The DoD's anti-vax misinformation campaign reflects a strategic but controversial approach to countering Chinese influence during COVID-19 pandemic. It all boils down to what we are willing to do to make sure that foreign adversaries, political adversaries, economic adversaries, ideological adversaries, please believe there is no bottom to the depravity that we would conduct to make sure that we keep our stance as a world power. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, please do not forget to share, like, comment. I stream when I want, usually in the evenings. I try to stream about 2 to 3 times a week over on Twitch at leftface.tv or YouTube/leftface. Hope to see you there.